It was a crime so brutal, so horrifying, that it sent shockwaves through the quiet Missouri suburb. A woman, a former reporter, was found dead, stabbed 43 times in her own home. The man accused of this crime, Marcellus Williams, would soon face a fate just as grim. But as the clock ticked down toward his final breath, questions remained. Was he really guilty? Who was Marcellus Williams? Marcellus Williams was not your typical death row inmate. He wasn't just a number in the system. Williams was a devout Muslim, a man who found religion behind bars, and became an imam guiding fellow inmates through faith, prayer, and redemption. For 23 long years, he studied, he wrote poetry, and he became a leader. His prison family called him Khalifa, meaning leader in Arabic. Yet, despite this spiritual transformation, one dark stain lingered: the murder of Felicia Gale, August 11, 1998, the day everything changed. Felicia Gale, a 42-year-old former newspaper reporter, was alone in her home. As she stepped out of the shower, she had no idea that a stranger was already inside. A man who, prosecutors said, came to rob her but left her bleeding on the floor. Stabbed 43 times, her purse and a laptop were stolen. The police were baffled, the community in shock. Who could have committed such a heinous act? The investigation? Williams was arrested, and the evidence stacked against him appeared damning. Witnesses claimed he had confessed. His girlfriend said she saw the stolen purse and laptop in his car. But when you peel back the layers, the case wasn't as clear-cut as it seemed. There was no DNA connecting him to the crime scene, none at all. The bloody shoe print left behind? It wasn't his. Hair found on the scene? Not a match. The trial. In 2001, Marcellus Williams was convicted. Prosecutors painted a chilling picture of a man desperate for money, a man who stabbed an innocent woman to death for a few valuables. But who were the witnesses? A girlfriend with a criminal past and a fellow inmate named Henry Cole, who had his own reasons for pointing the finger. Both had something to gain $10,000 in reward money, but it didn't matter. The jury believed them, and that jury was almost all white. Only one black juror sat in judgment of a black man. 11 white jurors, one black man on trial for his life. Years passed. Williams sat on death row, maintaining his innocence, even as the execution date loomed. Then, in 2015, a glimmer of hope. New DNA testing revealed that the DNA on the knife used to kill Felicia Gale didn't belong to Marcellus Williams. In fact, it didn't belong to anyone connected to the case. Instead, it matched members of the prosecutor's office, who had mishandled the evidence without gloves. Williams was spared. His execution was delayed. But the clock was still ticking. The final attempt. 2017. Once again, Marcellus Williams was hours away from execution. And once again, he was saved at the last moment. Prosecutors, including Wesley Bell, the St. Louis County prosecutor, called for a hearing. Even Gale's family agreed life in prison was enough, but the state of Missouri wasn't done with him yet. Missouri's Republican Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, refused to back down. He appealed. He pushed. And ultimately, the Missouri Supreme Court ruled against Marcellus Williams. Despite the lack of forensic evidence, despite the doubts, despite the plea for clemency from prosecutors, judges, and even the victim's family, the state moved forward with its plan. The execution would proceed. The last day, September 12, 2023. Marcellus Williams, the poet, the imam, the man who had spent more than 2 decades behind bars, sat alone in his cell. His final hours ticking away. His final meal: chicken wings and tater tots. Outside, his son and 2 lawyers waited to witness what was about to unfold. The air was thick with tension. Hope had vanished. At 11:01 p.m., the lethal injection was administered. Williams shifted under the white sheet that covered him, his feet wiggling beneath the fabric. His chest rose and fell. Once, twice, and then nothing. By 11:10 p.m., Marcellus Williams was pronounced dead. The aftermath. But the story doesn't end here. Marcellus Williams' case leaves us with chilling questions about the justice system, the death penalty, and the irreversible nature of execution. He maintained his innocence for decades. Evidence was mishandled. Witnesses were questionable. And yet, despite all this, his life ended on a cold table in a Missouri prison. Marcellus Williams was the 100th person executed by the state of Missouri since the death penalty was reinstated in 1989. But in a system where over 200 people have been wrongly convicted and sentenced to death since 1973, one question lingers: how many more might be next? As the death penalty continues to grip parts of the United States, we're left to wonder: was Marcellus Williams truly guilty, or was he just another victim of a system designed to punish at all costs? Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please like, subscribe, and share for more true crime documentaries that explore the truth behind the headlines. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on this and other important stories. See you next time on Crime Rage Teller.